Okay, tennis friends, Coach Jorge here, Capestany, and I thought I'd compare for you two really good ATP forehands here. On the left, we obviously have Andy Murray. On the right, Fabio Fognini. You can see both players are already into their unit turn, and let's just take it forward from here and see what we can see. Um, by the way, as you're watching me do these videos, I've been doing a few of them lately. You know that I like to use the phrase range of acceptability. I think technique is important, but once it's in the range of acceptability, I think it's time to move on. So right here, I can see that Andy Murray takes a racket. His right hand's above right shoulder high. His racket head is above his head. Now the players are not synchronized until the point of contact. So you can see Fabio takes his racket back a little bit later, but he's going to catch up. Now you can see his racket getting up there like where Andy's was, up by his head. Both players are completely sideways. Obviously, they're looking straight ahead, but their chest is right towards the camera. And this, by the way, is footage that I took at Cincinnati Masters, great tournament. And now you can see Andy has his, for sure, he has palm down, right? And then now you're going to see, let's just get rid of that. And now you're going to see Fabio get in that position pretty soon. Now you can see complete turn still. In other words, the chest is right towards the camera. Another little interesting thing is their feet are not so much. Their feet are more open here. And their hips are kind of towards the camera, but a little bit. And their chest is very much towards the camera. So there's the coiling again of that kinetic link. Now you can see Fabio has his racket down. Palm down is the big takeaway. Right now, the left arms are moving forward. You see the left arms are moving forward. And you're going to see that their torso is still pretty much facing the side. You can see the uncorking is going to start from the legs. The legs are starting to turn around, and you'll see something interesting here at the point of contact. What I want you to watch for here is look at Fabio. Let's just check out his forehand right here and look at this little jazzy move he does here. This little coil, and he kind of gets in that position. There's a lot of names for that. Some people call that the lag and snap. Some people call it, the slot. But nonetheless, you can see both players now are pretty far into their stroke. Their chest is starting to go forward. It's still mostly sideways in my opinion. And let's take it forward from here. Now the butt cap in both cases is driving forward. The racket is laid back. You can see with Fabio, he's got his elbow tucked in closer to his ribs. Andy has a little separation there by his elbow and his ribs. And let's take it right to the actual point of contact right now. And we're going to freeze it right here. So you can see right there, both players have the strings on the ball. Look at the commonality. What happened to that chest now? Completely facing forward. So just a couple frames ago it was sideways and now it's forward. So it's safe to say, in my opinion, that the racket is lagging behind, right? The chest comes forward, the racket comes after that. So here's the point of contact. And now I want to draw your attention to their feet. Okay, so you see Andy pretty much aerial, and so is Fabio. Very common that when these players hit, they're actually in the air. Let's take it a little further because the extension, I think, is the next phrase. And by the way, before I go, I want you to pay close attention to their racket face. Right now, you're going to see a little deflection, and it happens a lot. I've noticed this as I watch Andy Murray here. I'm just going to zone in this area and watch how that racket deflects. To see how it kind of it appears to be almost like a little shank there, but I don't think it is. I think that's topspin happening. If I got rid of that and we did the same circle over here and watch Fabio, see how that racket kind of goes more in an angle. So here at the point of contact it's kind of flat, and now it gets more close. Actually, it's more close after the point of contact. Very common actually. So one of my big teaching things is extension. How far towards the target do you go? In my humble opinion, this is where a lot of our right players missed the boat. You can see that these players are pretty much in follow through forward. It's not a lot of the chicken wing in it coming across or the chest. As a matter of fact, if you look at a couple more frames here, look at Fabio. Look at the extension here. This is like this arm, in my opinion, cannot be much straighter, right? That thing is totally straightened out before it starts to wrap around. Now watch their racket faces here as they do the wrap around. Excuse me. And you can see that now the hitting side of the strings is right there. That's the side they hit with. Right? So if I take that back a little bit, they hit with that, and that's now the side that's pointing that way. Right? So a lot of cool things here. I'm wondering what you can take away and learn if you're a coach or a player. But my takeaway, and by the way, I want to watch the very finish here because Andy Murray is, in my opinion, one of the best at making the commitment. So if you see right here, you see Andy Murray's complete back. I mean, he's like literally, his eyes are forward, but we see his back. Remember at the beginning where his face or his chest was totally facing us, and now his back is a little less here. But look at Andy. That's just an incredible amount of rotation. And I think that's where he gets a lot of his power. So there you have it. My personal takeaway that I would show people to focus on here is the fact that the extension is so prevalent and it's so important. This view, I would take this and I show this right to my players, particularly over here with Fabio, and I say, look at that, going towards the target, not directly around like a lot of people think. So I hope that you find that helpful and interesting, and if you like it, please feel free to share it. If you're watching this somewhere where you can make a comment, I'd love to hear your thoughts. And like I said, I'm not here to kind of tell people about technique. My goal is just to show and just see. I'm lucky enough to have this footage at 10 at high def, and it's 240 frames a second. So I know I've been in tennis for quite some time, and I'm still learning, and these kind of videos help me a lot. Alright, so there you have it, guys, and thanks for checking in.